Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back office Teardown lab. Look at this thing. I've already gone into it, but I'll tell you the story behind it. I was in Norwich at the shopping mall that contains the Retro Replay arcade, playing some video games because it's the summer holiday. Well, it's not the summer holidays. What am I talking about? It's half term, like spring half term. And I saw this in the UCLA charity shop. I believe it was a UCLA, and it said handheld pasta maker, and you can see right there, £5. Now, I'm all up for anything that weighs as much as this does, that only costs £5. And it came with this nozzle, it came with a USB charging lead and a bunch of dies, you know, for making all your different pastas. So the idea behind this is that you would load your pasta into here, you know, your dough, and depending on, you know, what kind of recipe you're using, you could obviously just use flour and water, I think, if that's the more Asian style pastas, or a bit of egg and flour if you're making the Italian ones. And but it simply, you know, extrudes it out. I'm not sure which is the best way to load it because I haven't given it a go yet. I suspect what you do is wind it in and just dump it in there. And look at that, it's a nice stainless steel piston. And if you think about it, maybe you could use it for other things like crushing garlic en masse. But of course, I went to use it and it didn't work quite properly. And what was happening, it would move out a little bit, and then the light would flash, and then it would move in a bit, light would flash. So eventually, after deciphering the instructions using a translator, it said that it was a battery problem. So I thought, okay, here we go. So I had to wait till I got home, and now I'm home. And then I popped it open, and there was 3 of these cells in there in a certain configuration, which hopefully I took enough photos of I can recreate. And yeah, I tried charging these up, and you can see there's only 2 because the third one actually got so hot it melted all of the things I was charging it in, and it was obviously going to be bad news and blow up. But these 2 actually seem okay. I measured these and they're measuring at 4.1 volts each, so I guess I lucked out, and I've got 2 kind of crappy batteries. So what I did is I went on Amazon and ordered some more. So yeah, I'm going to have to recreate those cells at some point when they arrive, and it's kind of convenient though. At least I've got, you know, these bits of wire harness, and I do have that welding tool we did many years ago, and just we're going to weld it up. But the reason I made the video, I thought it'd just be interesting to you just to see what's inside here. You've got some buttons, I think, in Chinese, but effectively these are forward, stop and reverse, so it's all pretty self-explanatory. When I looked online on some of these things, some of them are automatic, like they keep going for a while and all this sort of thing. But you can see it's a very simple thing internally here. So we've got a really interesting PCB, and I think we'll look at this momentarily. You can see the PCB itself. By the way, you can get these for about £20 online from Amazon and places like that. You know, which are wireless versions with this you know, rechargeable battery. So we're going to have a similar setup, and you can see it's got a nice USB-C port, which is cool. I really despise now finding things with USB mini on them, so seeing a USB-C is good. So it's got a battery charging circuit here, and you can see that does go off to these, the battery cells are here basically, and there's a couple of wires, this white and black wire, and they go off, they seem to be met halfway I think on the cells to measure across one cell. I'm not entirely sure, but some sort of battery detect, I think, circuitry. And then going through, if you look down through the circuits here, you can see you've got 3 buttons there, but that's your forwards, backwards and stop. Some sort of micro here that I thought was possibly related to the battery charging circuitry, but I'm not sure if it actually has the logic here for some of these buttons too. And there are some LEDs in here, if you could spot them somewhere on this PCB. I've seen them flashing. Oh, there you go, right there, LED 1 and LED 2. And then you'll see further down these, and these are your H-bridge. So the reason you have an H-bridge is that obviously you've got plus and minus coming in, and you've got to power the motor by, you know, inverting that plus and minus supply to it. And you think, how do you do that? And you use a H-bridge. So if you Google an H-bridge, you'll see a nice little circuit diagram of how they work. But that's a way of basically translating those different voltages to motors. And you can see here you've got motor minus and motor plus right there. And then what's happening is, if you can imagine, if you've got the power coming through, you're either putting minus to minus or plus to plus, or then through this arrangement it's flipping them around and you're putting plus to the minus and minus to the plus, so you're flipping it. So that's how that works. But let's I'm going to have to unscrew this a little bit more, and then we'll have a quick look at this module, because that's interesting. So I'm not sure if they're all the same, but this one is particularly well built. These are like stainless steel, big old wood screws, kind of holding it into this plastic chassis. Got some nice seals there, silicone. It's obviously designed to stop gunk getting into it. Very nice. Royal Star, never heard of them. But look at this mechanism. So if you've ever taken apart something like a recliner seat or anything like that, you do have these linear actuators in them. But I've never seen something so small and something convenient that you could actually buy, you know, and actually mess around with. For £20, for example, you could really mess around with one of these. And you can see it's really quite simple. You've got a motor here that's being driven through this bit of plastic. Inside here will be just a gearbox, really, just converting that from here to here. I won't open it up because it's going to be full of grease. And then you've got a threaded screw that goes up through here. And effectively, this is like, imagine this is on the end of a nut. Yeah, that's just on the end of that threaded screw. And how I imagine it actually is potentially at the end of this cylinder it's probably a cylinder, and then at the end is actually a nut welded on, or it's just threaded or tapped. And there is literally a screw like this going up through there. Imagine that's got a threaded bar, and that's just twisting. And then that thing's moving up and down. And there's no edge end stopped detection or anything like that. You can see there's not enough wires for that. So this thing's purely going to be working on current. I suspect when you get to the end, it does an overcurrent detection and cuts power and probably starts flashing the same light that flashes when your battery's running out of juice. But if you imagine this has got enough force to extrude pasta, again, we'll have to do tests on it. You can imagine if you have it on its end like this and you're like holding it, I suspect it will be lifting you up. It's probably capable of several kilos worth of force out of it. But we'll have to play with that at some point when batteries arrive, or if you've got one yourself, maybe you could experiment and let me know. And you think, well, what could we do with this potentially? Is there any actuation needs you might have? Certainly this is an interesting finish on here. I have played with these before. They're kind of made out of just regular, you know, metal, I don't know, steel, you know, rusty old steel, but this is all nice and stainless steel, so you know you could actually, can't weld to it so easily, but you could imagine if you drill holes and things in it, you can attach things to this and make some gadgets. But there you are, pasta maker. Have a look on other YouTube videos if you want to see someone using them. They do look cool. I'm quite keen though to fix it, because I do want to have a go on it. Because if you've ever made pasta at home, it's super easy. It's like literally 2 or 3 ingredients tops, depending on what you're making. But it cooks instantly compared to the stuff that you're just boiling up. So yeah, it could be a bit of fun. Maybe you could use it for making some Play-Doh hair. But yeah, any ideas, please comment down below on what else we could try extruding. Like I said earlier though, my go-to would probably be trying to do a bunch of garlic or something like that. What about pitted olives? If you wanted to make a tapenade, who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.